Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Today we're going to take a look at something a little different. It's not the engine builds, it's not the car repairs, it's not stereo installs, nothing like that. Um, a few videos back, I was doing the Monster 212 build, and I think it was on the second episode of that build, I showed a little turntable I wanted for my workbench. It really came in handy. It allows me to spin the engines around and just make putting them together a little easier. Even showcasing them, I can showcase them, spin them around like that, whatever. It really came in handy. And a few people made comments about it, about how cool it was or how interesting it is. So I thought I would break it down. I would show it in a little more detail and show the parts I used and how I assembled it. And yeah, just basically just show it, So maybe somebody likes it, maybe somebody wants to duplicate it, maybe they need the parts, who knows. So yeah, let's take a look at it a little closer. Right now, Biggs the Briggs is hanging out on it, as you can see, and he loves to spin. I don't know why, he gets crazy on spinning. But yeah, let's take a look at it a little bit closer. Okay, so we got Biggs the Briggs off. It was hard getting him off of there, but I was able to persuade him to get off. And yeah, we're going to take a little closer look at this. So I put a piece of cardboard on top just to help keep the surface cleaner. I may do something different here eventually. I don't know yet. For right now, this worked perfect. It kind of collects all the dust and the dirt and the oils and all that, protects the plywood. Now this is a piece of birch plywood. I believe it's 3/4 inch. And this was actually a piece that I cut out when I did the subwoofer adapter for the Panasonic box I had, or the Pioneer box, I forget which. And this was the piece that came out of the middle. When I did it, I drew I made a square, and then I brought the points of the square together, and that was my center. And then I was able to mark out, I think it's 12 inches. And then I just drilled a hole and I cut the radius out. And this came in very handy because this has the 4 screws here. And all I did was line the screws up with the lines that I made for the layout of cutting the circle. And it works. It centered it and puts it just in the right spot. Let me take this off and we'll take a closer look at the actual turntable part, the bearing. So as you see, when I put it together, I just had some mismatched hardware. These are sheet metal screws. They work good in the wood. You could use wood screws. These are about 3/4 long. The longer ones, I think they're about 1 inch, maybe 1.25 inches, maybe. And they were actually a little bit longer. I ground the tips of them off to make them fit. And this is the bearing right here. You can see, when it comes with rubber stoppers or rubber snubbers on the middle one as well. But I wanted the middle one to be the one that was locked to the plywood, and I left the bumpers on the outer ring. It spins really nice. I did put a little bit of oil in it, a little 3M oil. It's kind of recommended. If you read the comments, there weren't that good of comments about it. But what I found, when it was bolted down, when it was screwed down to the plywood, this is the same even surface right here. So when you screwed it down, the ring that you wanted to move also rubbed against the plywood, causing it not to move. So what I did was I just put a small washer underneath each screw between the plywood and the bearing. And that gave it enough room that it didn't rub anymore, and it would spin freely. You can see the holes drilled right there. I just lined it up from the center hole like I was saying. I just lined up the holes here on this line and these holes on this line, and it lines up center perfect. So yeah, that's really all that is to it. Get yourself some hardware and a good piece of plywood. You don't have to be round. It could be square. It could be whatever you want. It could be larger, it could be smaller, but as long as it fits within this ring. I think this was an 8-inch ring, I want to say. They have different sizes. I figured this was a good size for the engines to sit on and balance. Unfortunately, my table's not that level, so it tends to want to turn this way. That's why I had the plywood, or excuse me, the piece of cardboard underneath it, kind of to kick it up and make it more level. But yeah, that's all it is. Showed little washers I used for spacers on the bottom side. And I'm going to go ahead and screw it back together. And yeah, we'll put another hinge on it and spin it around and check it out again. So there we go. Just screwed it back together. Made them tight. You don't have to fill them because it's wood. You don't have to get them too tight. You could use this. This is birch, but you could use plywood. You could use anything that would, particle board, whatever that you could use to hold it, to screw it into, whatever, you know. And see how it spins nice and freely. It spins a little better with weight on it, but it spins good. My table got kind of damaged when I was just moving the engine around on the table. I had a piece of aluminum that was kind of doing the job for me, but this works really good. Like I said, I just put this on top. We can even put the 79cc on it. Well, the 79cc is a little off balance, but there we go. Works really good. Yeah, nice. Huh, here's the extra stoppers here. The nubbers or rubber pieces, whatever you want to call them. Found them right here next to the 79cc. So yeah, that's my little turntable I use here on my workbench. And just makes things a little easier, you know. You want to show it off. You want to put it on display. You know, whatever it is. It works. You know, you can do all kinds of things with it. Just a simple piece of wood and a little, I think they call them lazy Susan bearings, or I don't know, turntable bearing or something. But I'll put a link in the description to a part I bought. The wood, like I said, is just a piece of birch plywood I had for a speaker box adapter for a 12-inch woofer, and it works really good. You know, you can put stuff on it, showcase it, turn it around, whatever, you know, blah blah blah. Helps with a little more weight on it, but it works really well. So that's my little turntable. I hope you guys like it. I know you liked it in the comments of the other videos, and it really helped me out a lot to be able to rotate the engines while I'm working on them and do the hardware, take them apart, whatever. It helped me out a lot. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that super thanks button if all works out well for you and you like this content. Hit that button and pay it forward a little bit, you know, help Willy out. Help me to make these videos go a little further. And I really enjoy doing this. And I appreciate y'all stopping by and checking out my videos. I know this is just a quick one on this little turntable. We'll get back on the engines here shortly. And, well, I'll see you next time. Bye.